So friends, let's start for the press release which was issued regarding the GST Council meeting held on yesterday. So specifically, आप अगर देखोगे तो what are the key points of this meeting? So first of all, ये जो मीटिंग दिस वाज द फर्स्ट फिजिकल मीटिंग आफ्टर लॉकडाउन. सो बहुत दिनों से सब ऑनलाइन मीटिंग हो रहे थे. सो नाउ yesterday was the first physical meeting after the lockdown, and GST Council has took certain decision. Second, whenever we are discussing any change, please note that no one change is yet notified. मतलब ये सब चेंजेस जो है वो नोटिफाई होने के बाद ही एप्लीकेबल होंगे, और आप कह सकते हो कि नोटिफाई होने के बाद और उसमें क्लैरिटी आ जाएगी. So whenever they will get notified, we will again arrange a session to discuss more clarity about the notification. But what is the today's point? First of all, we are going to discuss what are proposed changes and what are the impact, and what we think about the GST Council, and what could be the GST in the next meeting GST Council should concern, and what are the main industries concern. So that's why we had arranged session. Definitely after issuance of the notification, each and every amendment get more clarification. Now it's only on the basis of press release which was issued yesterday. तो जो भी हम डिस्कस करेंगे that is only on the basis of press release and our practical experience while handling of the clients. So जो भी clients handle करते वक्त हमें जो जो practical experience आते हैं, और regarding the correlation with the press release we are going to discuss today. After notification we will again schedule the session to discuss more about changes. So if we yesterday's GST Council meeting, it can be divided into 4 parts. और वो कौन से पार्ट्स है? तो आप अगर प्रेस रिलीज अगर पूरा पढ़ोगे तो प्रेस रिलीज को हम 4 पार्ट में डिवाइड कर सकते हैं. First, there are certain changes which are with respect to compliances, and ये changes सबसे important है because everyone who is the GST taxpayer should know these changes, and the changes are with respect to day-to-day compliances. So we were going to first discuss about the changes with respect to compliances. So जो भी changes आपको useful है वो हम first discuss करेंगे. Second, there are certain clarifications issued. Now why this clarification? Because there are certain issues, और हमने भी बहुत सारी representation GST Council को किए थे. Even though from the trade chambers we had represented to the GST Council, there are certain litigation because of drafting of the GST law. So certain clarifications issued so that to minimize the litigation. That is the one part of the press release. Third part in the press release, they had majoritarily focus on the change in the GST rate. Now, as per GST Council, they are focusing on the uniform of the rate. So maybe in days to come, we will have an uniform rate. मतलब either 18% रहेगा, तो जितना को rate schedule अभी minimum 6 rate है, 0 से 28%, and even there is a cess and in addition to that. तो वो जो भी जितना uniform होगा उतना वो easy होगा. So there are many rates, but now there are many changes with respect to rates, and there are certain exemption granted. So these changes are definitely relevant, but these are industry specific changes, and hence we will discuss, but we will discuss key changes about the rate. But मैं आपको प्रेफर करूंगी कि हमने स्लाइड में और पीपीटी में एक ना एक रेट चेंजेस इंक्लूड किए हैं. Just go through. If your any product has an impact, then we'll discuss. Second, other amendments which are not decoded, that means it is not yet even in the press release it is not yet clarified, or press release आप जब पढ़ोगे तो there are some amendments we can't speak more on that amendments, so we'll discuss that amendment separately. So these are the 4 parts as far as press release is concerned. So let's start for the first and key part, that means the changes with respect to compliances. So friends, meanwhile, I will just have to clear that if anyone has a query, they can put in the chat box. So we will discuss either during the session, if and after at the end of the session we can one to one. So just write down any query you are having, then we will discuss at the end of the session. So first let's start with the first part. First is changes with respect to compliances. So जो भी changes compliances के बारे में है, whatever changes they had prescribed for the compliances, we will discuss. First, relaxation of the filing of the ITC 04. So what is ITC 04? Many of you aware about the ITC 04 is applicable in case of job work. job work के लिए भेजे, so that means manufacturer is required to file the ITC 04. तो ITC 04 अगर आप फॉर्म देखोगे तो उसमें goods received and sent details they have to give. Also, how many days that goods are received, etc. So that details giving is not a critical job, but वो जो format है and site पे uploading, so it's a very hectic. So हमने भी बहुत सारे ITC 04 में देखते हैं कि there are many errors. Even if you go through the GSP, there are many errors to upload these details on site and also submit and return. So this is one of the hectic return. We had many times represented to the GST council or authorities to remove that return, but definitely ITC 04 is not removed. So remove किया नहीं है, but there they had given a relaxation. And what is relaxation? So अगर आपका turnover, कौन सा turnover देखना है? Aggregate turnover is defined under the GST Act under section 2. तो aggregate turnover defined किया हुआ है. It includes exempted and all turnover. So you can see the section 2 definition wherein an aggregate turnover defined. But aggregate turnover of last financial year देखना है. आपको ये provision applicable करने के लिए. मतलब if you have to see for the 21-22, that means you have to see last financial year 2021 of aggregate turnover. If your aggregate turnover of last financial year is above 5 crore, then ITC 04 आपको 6 monthly applicable होगा. मतलब आपको required to be furnished in 6 months. And if aggregate turnover of last financial year is up to 5 crore, then it's annually. तो definitely ये पहले quarterly था, तो उन्होंने at least remove नहीं किया, but you can say that the certain at least some compliances has reduced with respect to ITC 04. तो फिर भी अगर जिसके transaction बहुत ज्यादा है, so quarterly data upload करना quite easy than the 6 monthly, क्योंकि 6 monthly के transaction भी उतने vast होंगे, data भी vast होगा. तो जहाँ पे बहुत सारे goods job work के लिए जा रहे हैं, तो वहाँ पे maybe uploading of the data could be the challenge because of this periodicity. So it could be challenge for the above 5 crore, which is of 6 months instead of quarterly. So this is one of the key change. Second key change is with respect to applicability of interest. So आपको पता ही रहेगा कि in the last 2 years there were many shortages with respect to interest. तो उनका कहना क्या था कि ITC पे भी इंटरेस्ट लगेगा. मतलब लेट्स से आपका 1 लाख का लाइबिलिटी है एंड आपने वो 50,000 ITC में पे किया और 50,000 कैश में से पे किया. So we had paid the interest on the cash amount, right? क्योंकि ITC तो ITC लेजर में अवेलेबल है ही ना. But as per section 50, authorities was demanding on the complete 1 lakh interest if there is a delay in payment. मतलब आपने अगर 3P लेट फाइल किया है, तो जो 1 lakh liability है, instead of set of वो 1 lakh पे interest डिमांड करते हैं instead of 50,000, क्योंकि 50,000 तो इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट है. And because of that, section 50 substituted. So section 50 proviso of section 60 substituted and made it applicable with effect from 2017. मतलब जब से GST law introduce हुआ तब से वो applicable हुआ. As per this substitution, it is clarified, or we can say that they have to clarify that interest is applicable on the gross or net. तो उन्होंने वहां पे चेंज किया और नाउ इंटरेस्ट इज एप्लीकेबल ऑन नेट एंड दैट इज आल्सो विथ इफेक्ट फ्रॉम 1 July 2017. Now what was the issue for this amendment? तो ये जो amendment मतलब provision 50 of levy of interest of NAC inserted in 2019. So ये retrospective amendment हुआ 2020 में. उसके बाद 1/9/2020 में उन्होंने प्रोविजन इफेक्टिव कर दिया. सर्कुलर भी इशू किया एंड फिर से न्यू प्रोविजन इंसर्ट किया फॉर रिट्रोस्पेक्टिव अमेंडमेंट. सो दीज आर द अमेंडमेंट रिलेटेड you can say path. But now by way of press release, again one issue था, GST authorities are levying interest on the ineligible credit. तो उनका कहना था कि ठीक है, अगर पे करना है, प्रोस्पेक्टिव अमेंडमेंट आया तो वी आर एग्री that the interest is liable if there is a delay in return, then interest is liable on the net value and not the gross value. But what about ineligible credit? तो जो आपने ITC लिया है यूज करने के लिए, अगर जो ITC अवेल किया है उसमें इनएलिजिबल क्रेडिट है तो क्या होगा? So even ineligible credit is availed, मतलब सेक्शन 17(5) का हो, कौन सा भी हो, इनएलिजिबल क्रेडिट अगर अवेल भी किया है तो they were levying the interest. And that's why in this press release it is clarified, or one can say they had said that interest should be levied only if on the ineligible credit only if availed and utilized. तो दोनों कंडीशन सेटिस्फाई होना चाहिए, अवेल भी करना चाहिए और यूटिलाइज भी करना चाहिए, then only interest is levied. आपने सिर्फ अवेल किया है बट उसको यूटिलाइज नहीं किया है तो वो इंटरेस्ट एप्लीकेबल नहीं होगा. सो आपको रिवर्सल के वक्त इंटरेस्ट नहीं लगेगा. सो दिस इज अगेन अ यूजर फ्रेंडली अमेंडमेंट वन कैन से. सो दिस इज अबाउट इंटरेस्ट. So friend, third amendment is related to compliance, is for ITC. तो ये इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट का अमेंडमेंट है. डेफिनेटली आई थिंक इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट इज मोस्ट फेवरेट सब्जेक्ट फॉर GST. Many times it has an amendment. और इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट रेस्ट्रिक्शन, तो हम कह सकते हैं कि इट्स अ पार्ट टुवर्ड्स द रेस्ट्रिक्शन. तो इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट कहाँ पे रेस्ट्रिक्ट कर सकते हैं. तो अभी फिर से रूल 36(4) अमेंड हुआ है और एज पर द अमेंडमेंट, मतलब अभी तक नोटिफाई नहीं हुआ. अगेन आई एम सेइंग दैट दिस इज अ प्रेस रिलीज that all these amendments are proposed and will get notified only after the press, only after issuance of the notification. तो जब भी नोटिफिकेशन इशू होंगे हम फिर से अपडेट करेंगे. So rule 36 they proposed to amend it, and now the credit after this amendment, credit will be available only if it is reflected to GSTR 2B. तो अगर हम क्रेडिट रेस्ट्रिक्शन का पार्ट देखेंगे तो ये चालू हो गया अक्टूबर 2019 से, मींस जुलाई 2017 टू सितंबर 2017 तक there were no provision under the rule 36(4) for the specific bar, or for the specific bar the credit if it is not reflected in the 2A or 2B. But October 2019 में पहली बार provision introduce की, and as per that provision only 20% of the eligible ITC was made available with respect to invoices which is not reflected in the GSTR 2A. तो आप बोल सकते हैं कि 20% की प्रोविजनल ITC एप्लीकेबल था अक्टूबर 2019 टू दिसंबर 2019. अगेन जनवरी 20 में उन्होंने ये 20% है वो रिड्यूस कर दिया जनवरी 20 में, एंड February 20 टू अगस्त 20 में जब लॉकडाउन था वहां पे वो डेफर्ड कर दिया अप टू द अगस्त 20. तो तब अगेन वो चेंज हुआ था. तो आप देखो एक भी मंथ ऐसे नहीं टैक्स क्रेडिट में चेंज नहीं है. देन अगस्त 20 टू दिसंबर 20 अगेन ITC एज पर 2A उन्होंने अलाउ कर दिया, एंड 10% ITC ऑन प्रोविजनल बेसिस था. अगेन जनवरी 21 में उन्होंने वो कम कर दिया. सो ऑन जनवरी 21 ये 10% प्रोविजनल ITC रिड्यूस्ड टू 5%. तो वो फिर से रेस्ट्रिक्ट कर दिया 5% तक. हेलो,
हाँ बस फाइन. आप इसे बोलो फोन किया था ना आपने.
हाँ मैं चलो बात तो कर लो.
यस यस थैंक यू.
सो again it is we request the participant to please. So again it is reduced to 5% and in the April, and now they are saying it's not available 5% also. Now every input tax credit you are availing is required to be matched with the GSTR 2B. तो आपको वो GSTR 2B से मैच करना ही करना है, उसके लिए आपके पास कोई भी ऑप्शन नहीं है गोइंग फॉरवर्ड. सो दे हैड नाउ रिड्यूस्ड इट टू एक्चुअल. तो आपके लिए वे फॉरवर्ड क्या है? पहले तो अगर ये अमेंडमेंट नोटिफाई हुआ तो क्रेडिट इज अवेलेबल ओनली इफ, सो देयर इज अ लीगल, अभी वो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल है, नॉन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल है, वेदर वी कैन लिटिगेट दैट, डेफिनेटली वी कैन लिटिगेट, बट we have the substantial, but before going to the litigation, why we intend litigation? तो litigation करने से अच्छा है कि there should be certain internal control system. तो पहले तो अभी से इंश्योर करो वेंडर कम्युनिकेशन ऑन रेगुलर बेसिस इज इसेंशियल विद इन द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. सो आप अगर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का पार्ट है तो वेंडर कम्युनिकेशन ऑन रेगुलर बेसिस होना ही चाहिए, देन ओनली यू कैन सेव और ऑप्टिमाइज योर इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट. सेकंड, एसओपी एंड इंटरनल कंट्रोल सिस्टम डिजाइन विल हेल्प. तो हमने बहुत सारे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में एसओपी और इंटरनल सिस्टम का काम किया हुआ है. सो इट विल हेल्प, क्योंकि एसओपी आप जब तक डिजाइन नहीं करते कि किसका काम क्या है, तब तक वेंडर कम्युनिकेशन आपका रेगुलर बेसिस नहीं होगा. और इफ यू इंटेंड टू ऑप्टिमाइज रियली एन इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट, नाउ देयर इज नो ऑप्शन. इफ यू इंटेंड टू मिनिमाइज, मेन लिटिगेशन इज हैपन विद बिकॉज ऑफ इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट. क्योंकि कभी भी जीएसटी अथॉरिटीज आते हैं तो वो भी उनका भी व्यू रहता है कि इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट कैसे रेस्ट्रिक्ट कर सकते हैं और कहाँ पे कम कर सकते हैं. तो एसओपी एंड इंटरनल कंट्रोल सिस्टम should be designed within the organization so that to optimize the input tax credit. So it is very essential. Then regular reconciliation, तो ये तो पार्टी है, पहले से हम जब से जीएसटी लॉ आया तब से reconciliation definitely they are increasing. बट आपको अगर लिटिगेशन मिनिमाइज करने, सो इफ यू इंटेंड टू मिनिमाइज द लिटिगेशन, देन देयर इज नो ऑप्शन, but you have to reconcile the data on regular basis with the books of account. So this is one of only option. So this is about the input tax credit, friends. Now regarding other details, regarding other details, so cash ledger balance can be utilized between the distinct persons. So this is the fourth changes as far as compliance is concerned. तो ये changes क्यों आया? So क्या होते हैं? Let's say I am having a same PAN. तो company has a PAN but having a presence in the different state. तो पैन सेम है, बैलेंस शीट सेम होगी, बट स्टेट वाइज प्रेजेंस है, मतलब महाराष्ट्र में है, गुजरात में है, तो स्टेट वाइज उन्हें जीएसटी सेपरेट लेना है, जीएसटी सेपरेट रजिस्ट्रेशन होगा, एंड दे कैन टेक द सर्विसेज ऑफ ईच अदर. सो दे आर ट्रीटेड एज अ सेपरेट एंटिटी फॉर और डिस्टिंक्ट एंटिटी और डिस्टिंक्ट पर्सन फॉर द पर्पज ऑफ जीएसटी, इवन दे आर हैविंग द सेम पैन. तो यहाँ पे आप बोल सकते हैं ब्रांच. So one PAN के other branches in other states. So in this case क्या होता था, अगर एक ब्रांच में या HO में कैश लेजर है, that cash ledger will remains with HO and they can't able to utilize for the other branches. Now they said that if there is an unutilized balance in the CGST and IGST cash ledger, then they can transfer between the distinct person. मतलब branch to branch transfer कर सकते हैं. Means वन ऑफ ब्रांच, एक ब्रांच में अगर कैश आपने ऑलरेडी भरा है एंड दैट इज अनयूटिलाइज्ड टिल नाउ, तो वो अदर ब्रांच को या एचओ को ट्रांसफर कर सकते हैं डायरेक्टली थ्रू द कैश लेजर. तो दिस इज अगेन यूजर फ्रेंडली अमेंडमेंट. यहाँ पे हमने और एक रिप्रेजेंटेशन किया था कि इवन द लेजर्स, मतलब क्रेडिट, नॉट ओनली द कैश लेजर बट क्रेडिट लेजर शुड आल्सो बी ट्रांसफरेबल. तो पहले सर्विस टैक्स में एक कंसेप्ट था आईएसडी, उससे ट्रांसफर होता था. अभी भी आईएसडी कंसेप्ट है बट दैट इज नॉट मच रिलेवेंट, क्योंकि अभी बिल इशू करते हैं ब्रांच टू ब्रांच. सो दैट्स व्हाई जीएसटी गेट ट्रांसफर्ड. बट इंस्टेड ऑफ इशूइंग द बिल, इफ दे आर अलाउ अस टू ट्रांसफर डायरेक्टली थ्रू द क्रेडिट लेजर, देन इट विल मोर यूजर फ्रेंडली. बट टिल नाउ दिस इज नॉट कंसिडर्ड बाय द जीएसटी काउंसिल. They are only saying that the cash ledger, if you are having unutilized cash ledger balance and other branch require that, then you can transfer to other branch. So there can be the transfer between the different branches regarding the cash ledger. Now fifth changes about the compliance is regarding the e-invoicing. So friends, e-invoicing है तो भी physical hard copy required थी, but now it is said that there is no need of physical copy of tax invoice if e-invoicing is applicable. So e-invoicing has made applicable. Now it's applicable to the companies having aggregate turnover above 50 crore. सो आपको अगर ई इनवॉइसिंग एप्लीकेबल है, आप ऑलरेडी गवर्नमेंट को रिपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, देन देयर इज नो नीड ऑफ फिजिकल कॉपी ऑफ टैक्स इनवॉइस. आप अगर even though during movement if it is in the soft copy, then it is also okay. So one again compliance burden about the one can this amendment we can say about the go green. So now it's not required in the hard copy. Now sixth amendment is debit note. So before understanding this amendment, आपको अगर ये amendment understand करना है तो पहले का सिनारियो मतलब बजट 2020 के पहले क्या सिनारियो था वो आपको पता चाहिए. सो बिफोर बजट 2020 क्या होता था, अगर मेरा इनवॉइस लेट्स से 2021 का है तो सेक्शन 16(4) में ऐसे बोला हुआ था कि डेबिट नॉट पर्टेनिंग टू टाइम इनवॉइस सो लास्ट डेट इज सितंबर ऑफ द नेक्स्ट ईयर. मतलब जो भी इनवॉइस, अगर मेरा इनवॉइस 2021 का है तो मुझे जो डेबिट नोट रेज करनी है वो इनवॉइसेस के अगेंस्ट, मतलब ये इनवॉइसेस के अगेंस्ट कुछ भी वैल्यू इंक्रीज हुई और मुझे डेबिट नोट रेज करनी है तो लास्ट डेट ऑफ विच जीएसटी डेबिट नोट इज द सितंबर 21. तो सितंबर 21 लास्ट डेट होगी. बट नाउ सेक्शन 16(4) मतलब बजट 2020 में 16(4) अमेंड कर दिया फॉर लिंकिंग द डेबिट नोट विद द अमेंडमेंट इंस्टेड ऑफ इनवॉइस. तो जो इनवॉइस का लिंकिंग था वो निकाल दिया. मतलब अभी क्या होगा कि अगर मेरा 2021 का डेबिट नोट है तो वो मैं अमेंड कर सकती हूँ अप टू सितंबर 21 एंड ना कि इनवॉइस डेट. तो मुझे इनवॉइस डेट नहीं देखना है, मुझे डेबिट नोट देखना है. तो दैट्स व्हाई दिस अमेंडमेंट मेड एंड सेम क्लैरिफिकेशन मेड that with effect from 1/1/21 मतलब 1 जनवरी 21 से ये अमेंडमेंट एप्लीकेबल होगा एंड डेट ऑफ इशुएंस ऑफ डेबिट नोट शैल बी डिटरमाइंड फॉर द रिलेवेंट फाइनेंशियल ईयर. मतलब आपको सितंबर, सो एवरीवन अवेयर दैट द आपको अगर लास्ट ईयर का कुछ अमेंडमेंट किया करना है तो वो सितंबर इज द लास्ट मंथ. तो आपने अभी तक अमेंडमेंट नहीं किया है तो प्लीज डू द रिकंसिलिएशन ऑफ बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट ऑफ लास्ट is the last date. but पहले हम डेबिट नोट के लिए इनवॉइस डेट देखते थे, बट नाउ यू हैव टू सी द डेबिट नोट डेट फॉर द पर्पस ऑफ अमेंडमेंट. सो दिस इज ओनली क्लैरिफाइड एंड मेन चैलेंज क्या है, तो ये कब से क्लैरिफिकेशन है? एज पर दिस क्लैरिफिकेशन इट इज एप्लीकेबल फ्रॉम 1 जनवरी. बट व्हाट अबाउट अर्लियर डेबिट नोट? तो अर्लियर डेबिट नोट जो भी इनवॉइसेस से लिंक थे और सितंबर के बाद इशू हुए हैं तो उसका क्रेडिट नहीं मिलेगा क्या? So these are the questions. Again, this is they are saying clarification, but whether it is not retrospective, it seems from the press release. But जब notification आएगा तो हमें maybe it's more clear after the notification. But now from the press release, it seems that it is applicable from the 1st January 2021 instead of retrospective. Now, other measures towards compliances. तो other कौन से amendment है compliances के बारे में? फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल अदर ऑथेंटिफिकेशन. सो अगर आपका रिफंड है, रिवोकेशन है तो आपको आधार ऑथेंटिकेशन कंपलसरी है. ये प्रपोज किया है. सो यू हैव टू रजिस्ट्रेशन. सो एवरीवन नोस फॉर रजिस्ट्रेशन इट रिक्वायर अदर ऑथेंटिफिकेशन, बट now it's applicable for the refund claim as well as application for revocation of cancellation of registration. तो आप अगर रिवोकेशन करना चाहते हो उसका एप्लीकेशन है तो आपको अदर ऑथेंटिकेशन भी लगेगा. उसके बाद लेट फी ऑफ डिलेड फॉर्म ऑफ GSTR1 टू बी ऑटो पॉपुलेटेड. सो एट प्रेजेंट व्हाट हैपन, GSTR1 का ऑटो पॉपुलेट होता है, कभी नहीं होता है. बट नाउ they are saying that late fee of the GSTR1 and also GSTR3B is going to be auto populated and that is collected in the next month return. तो next month return में वो auto populate हो जाएगी. Third major amendment is refund disturbed in the bank account. तो आपको जो refund मिलेगा वो सिर्फ वही बैंक अकाउंट में मिलेगा जो आपने GST रजिस्ट्रेशन के वक्त दिया था with PAN. तो जो PAN से लिंक रहेगा, मतलब it should be linked with the PAN and it should be given at the time of the GST registration. And friends, many bank has made the coordination or even the merger of the banks. So आप अगर I think it's in between October 20 or something. So there are majority of 8 banks which have merged and their IFSC code etc. has changed. Your bank is one of that bank. Please change GST, amend the GST registration accordingly. क्योंकि आपको वो बैंक की डिटेल अमेंड किए और आप रिफंड क्लेम कर रहे हैं और अमेंड नहीं किए तो आपका रिफंड डिले हो सकता है. So amend your GST registration for the bank account if the and it should be linked with the PAN. Now again third is from 1/1/22 मतलब 1 जनवरी 22 से GSTR1 is unable to be furnished. पहले ये जो अमेंडमेंट था 1/1/21 था. अभी as per the press release from the 1/1/2021 you will be unable to furnish the GSTR1 if GSTR3 भी preceding month का प्रोवाइड नहीं किया है. मतलब आपने अगर GSTR3 भी लास्ट मंथ का भरा नहीं है तो आप ये मंथ में GSTR1 भी भर नहीं पाएंगे. Now why this amendment made? Because friends many taxpayers was doing कि GSTR1 तो भर देते थे but GSTR3 भी नहीं भरते थे. That's why they had restricted that you should have to furnish the GSTR3B of the last month. So GSTR1 भी furnish करो, then only you are allowed to furnish the GSTR1 of the next month. So that's why this amendment went. Again, I think this in our view as a firm, this amendment is quite not from the government perspective, क्योंकि at least GSTR1 furnish करने के वजह से government को ये तो पता चलता था कि इतना सेल है. Now they themselves saying that if you are not having a GSTR3B not filed, then GSTR1. So even they will not get the data related. So ये restriction से I don't think that there is any or any essential for the government. So it's not a government friendly also and not only is user friendly also, because restricting the GSTR1 they will unable to get the sale data also in advance. So they have to visit to the taxpayer and then only get the data. If someone has to don't file the returns for the 4-5 months. Now these are the compliance related. So we had completed all the amendments with respect to compliances. तो जो भी compliances के related amendment है वो हमने cover कर दिए. Now certain clarification. So one of major clarification is with respect to Indian company having foreign parent company. So यहाँ पे बहुत litigation थे. Even we had faced we are in the appeal for one of the client for this issue. Issue क्या था कि foreign entity है और उसका presence अगर इंडिया में है, then the authorities are treating it as a related person or the same person, and hence they are saying that the export of services में जो 5 condition दिए हैं उसमें से 5th condition जो है that is not satisfied because it is merely the establishment of the distinct person, and because of that they were rejecting the refund of the export of services, and even they are saying that this is not an export of services. And we are also appeal and we had represented this issue. Now it is clarified that a person incorporated in India and the person incorporated under the other law of other country, मतलब आपका अगर outside company है और outside company का presence अगर Indian company India में है और Indian company having a presence or parent company of outside India or foreign company, then both are treated as a separate legal entity, not merely the establishment of distinct person. तो दोनों को separate legal entity treat किया जाएगा and they would not be barred by the condition of section 5. मतलब जो export of services का 5th condition है वो disqualify नहीं होगा, that is as an export of services. Definitely this is a key clarification, and many of the cases are at appeal stage. Because of this clarification, I think the litigation will reduce and authorities will now treat it as an export of services and grant the refund. So this is one of the key clarification given. Now other clarification. So second other clarification उन्होंने जो दिए हैं, one of the alcoholic liquor. As per I don't think that this is relevant for the more of the person, but more about the manufacturer. So alcoholic liquor for the human consumption is not a food and food product for the purpose of entry prescribing 5%. So 5% entry job work के लिए prescribe for the food and food product. So many of the manufacturer using that 5% whenever sending for the job work. But now they had clarified that this entry should not be used for alcoholic liquor. So Second clarification is about the renewable, specified renewable energy project, like solar project, you can say. So in this regard, they are saying that the 70-30 ratio. So last year they had specified 70-30 ratio of goods and you can say material and service. तो वो works contract होता है जो भी renewable energy project होते हैं, मतलब solar plant के etc. So that will be the worst contract, and accordingly they are saying that the 70-30 will be the material service portion for that contract. मतलब 70% is 30% is for services respectively during the period 1/7/2017 to 31/12/2018, and the same manner will be prescribed for period on after 2019. Means this 70-30 ratio will continue for the renewable energy project. Now, second is related to dry fruits. So this is, I think, not more relevant, but it's a distinction. They had made distinction between the fresh and dried fruits and nuts, and it is clarified that the GST rate is nil and 5%. But the fresh and dried है so nil, and other 5% and 12%. So again, this is, I think, not much. And pharmaceutical product, they are saying whatever the pharmaceutical product related to the COVID, that will continue with the lower rate for certain period. So these are rate related certain clarifications they had given. Now amendment with respect to GST rate. So friends, as discussed, there are many amendments with respect to GST rate. तो GST रेट के जो भी की अमेंडमेंट्स है और मेजर इंडस्ट्री को एप्लीकेबल है, तो हम जो इंडस्ट्री स्पेसिफिक है वो नहीं देखेंगे, बट जो मेजर इंडस्ट्री को एप्लीकेबल है वो डिटेल में देखेंगे. फॉर एग्जांपल, वन ऑफ द अमेंडमेंट इज विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू ई कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर लायबल टू पे जीएसटी. अभी ई कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर कौन से है? सो दे आर सेइंग दैट द सर्विसेज प्रोवाइडेड बाय ई कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर इज लायबल टू जीएसटी. एंड व्हाट काइंड ऑफ सर्विसेज? फर्स्ट, ट्रांसपोर्ट ऑफ पैसेंजर. तो ट्रांसपोर्ट ऑफ पैसेंजर के लिए कौन से ई कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर है? फर्स्ट ओला है, उबेर है. So now they are liable to pay the GST on the transport of passenger. Second, restaurant services. So restaurant services के लिए कौन से है? Zomato and Swiggy. So even end user will may suffer, or this may lead to increase in cost for the end user, because now GST is applicable to them also. So they had also said that it's applicable with some exception. So exception is not yet prescribed. So by way of notification, they will more clear about this. But restaurant, matlab jo bhi Zomato, Swiggy and Ola, Uber will now have to pay the GST, and this may increase the cost, food cost as well as transport cost. So this is relevant to all of us. Second, other GST rate amendments जो है, that will be the many amendments. So once you go through this amendment as discussed, if any of product you are covered, first of all keep in mind, do read the supply or do follow the supply time of supply. So time of supply, whenever there is a change in rate, section 14 gives the time of supply. मतलब आपका अगर इनवॉइस पहले का है और रिसीट बाद में आया तो कौन सा रेट होगा, whether it is the old rate or new rate, which rate, because many of rate change, like transport of goods by vessel तो नील था बहुत दिनों से, they had given the exemption, but there are certain changes in the rate also. So some changes are 12% to 18%, they had increased, somewhere they had reduced. So do go, please check if any of your goods are covered under this. Second, certain rate related changes is for services. One of the services coaching services. तो कोचिंग सर्विसेज अगर जो स्टूडेंट को प्रोवाइड की जाती है, if it's related to the scholarship for student with respect to disabilities, so there is a center sector scheme called as scholarship for the student for the disabilities. If it is under that scheme, then even the coaching services are not required to pay the GST for under that scheme, and they will exempt afterwards. So after proposed amendment, they once this amendment notified, the exemption will get, they will get the exemption. Second, now they have clarified about the cloud kitchen and restaurant services. So services by the cloud kitchen and center now will attract 5%, means they will treat it as a restaurant only. But exactly opposite is for ice cream parlor. So advanced ruling of natural ice cream. So there are advanced ruling, I think 2 advanced ruling. One is of natural ice cream. So issue was that whether ice cream parlor is restaurant to levy the 5% or it gives the services which is an 18%. So now it is clarified under the GST that ice cream parlor is not not treated as a restaurant, because they are giving the ready-made ice cream and hence not restaurant, and it is liable to 18%. So there were earlier because of this many litigation if whether it's chargeable to 18% and 5%. But whether this is more clear or not, we will get about by way of notification or any clarification issued in this regard. Because even though they are saying that the ice cream parlor is 18%, but what about the restaurant serving the ice cream? मतलब अगर कोई रेस्टोरेंट है और वो आइसक्रीम सर्व कर रहा है तो 18% होगा या 5% होगा. So this confusion is again, I think, with our in our mind. But again, this is a press release. We may they may give the more clarity in the notification or clarification circular issue in going forward. Third confusion about the overloading charges of toll plaza. So they had clarified that the overloading charges of the toll plaza is akin to the toll, and hence they will exempt. These charges will exempt. So these are the main services related, certain note GST rate related, certain clarifications. Then again, there are many changes which are from the 1/10/2021. So these changes will be applicable from next month. So 1/10/2021 से changes applicable हो गए. So definitely they will issue the notification before that. So many changes like the retrofitment case are from 1/10/2021 liable to 5%. So again, I'm saying that do check whether any of your product is covered under the change in rate, and accordingly from the 1st October 2021, make the changes accordingly on the invoices, e-invoices, the agreement, and the check whether after 1st October it is liable for the new rate or the old rate as per the section 14, that is the time of supply. So these are the GST rate related changes. Major changes of GST rate जो बहुत कंस्ट्रक्शन इंडस्ट्री के लिए और बहुत majority of the industry it will be relevant is for the bricks. So now bricks will attract the rate of 6% without ITC and 12% with ITC. So they had prescribed the two rates, 6% without ITC, 12% with ITC. So now construction industries can use this to reduce the GST cost, to optimize the GST cost. क्योंकि जो भी construction industry है, they levy the GST without input tax credit and without input tax credit. So they are having a compulsory rate of 5% or 1% without GST. So they can select the contractors to reduce their cost, because now bricks can have a two rate, that is 6% without ITC, 12% with ITC. So they can prefer the contractor wherein they will reduce their cost. So GST cost they can save now regarding 6%, up to 6% cost they can save. So this is another impacting amendment, one can say. Other proposed amendment, but this is not more clarity. So they are saying that there will be the amendment. So आपको पता है कि बजट 21 में GST Act amend हुआ. So बहुत सारे GST Act के provision amendment हुए, including section 7. So अब तक 3 ही provision notify हुए हैं और 3 ही section notify हुए हैं. Other section amendment are not yet notified, and now they are saying that the amendment of this budget 2021 will get notified. So we'll see after the notification how many rates or how many notification they will, or how many changes they will notify with respect to GST Act. So again, after notification, we will discuss more about the GST Act amendment, because at a present we don't know how many notification they will issue to notify the GST Act budget 21 related amendment. But budget 21 के जो भी impact है, जो proposed impact है, not yet notified, we had recorded in our YouTube video, so you can go to that. Even we are having a presentation on that. that can be the useful to get the budget 21 amendment. So key attention क्या है friend? So we are awaiting for the GSTR 99C extension. क्यों? क्योंकि आपको पता है कि इनकम टैक्स के सब ड्यू डेट एक्सटेंडेड है, तो बुक्स फाइनल नहीं होंगे अप टू दिसंबर, बट September is the last date for the availment of input tax credit of 2021. तो 2021 का जो इनपुट टैक्स है वो हमें सितंबर तक फाइनल करना है, बट हमारे बुक्स फाइनल है क्या सितंबर तक? नहीं, बिकॉज ऑल ड्यू डेट इज एक्सटेंडेड बिकॉज ऑफ सिस्टम challenges. So there at present we are unable to upload the income tax return, and many consultants are facing, and because of that all the due date are extended for income tax. But what about the input tax credit and other amendment? क्योंकि जीएसटी लॉ में जो भी अमेंडमेंट है वो सितंबर 21 तक ही करने हैं, बट अगर बुक्स ही फाइनल नहीं, so we had represented, but press release has nothing said about the amendment with respect to ITC for 2021 or other amendments. So they had not extended the due date of September, or one case is September is only the last month. But let's say whether they will issue any notification, etc., and consider our request regarding this. This was a major key point which required to be considered by the GST Council. However, this is not seems to be considered, at least by reading the press release. It is seems as is this not considered, but after notification again we will. So friends, these are the certain changes